Were limited to very few scoring opportunities, although if Stilian Petrov had got his delivery right here, John Hartson would surely have had them ahead inside 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, John Hartson wasn't best pleased, let's say. I mean, Petrov is trying to pick him out. It's a good run from midfield, getting in behind, and Scott Bove was saying to Jimmy Collingwood. Chris Clark was following Petrov, but he lost him on that occasion. But John Hartson was free at the back post. You can see a good run from midfield. That's what Petrov's been all about for the years he's been at Celtic. He's the best in the country at it. Bit of composure here. If he picks the right ball out, if he gets it in the right area, then John Hartson, you can see dropping his head there, because he knows that was a great chance. But that's probably the way the first half went for both teams. Certainly from Celtic's point of view, some decent stuff, but when they got in that final third of the pitch, didn't quite have that killer ball to get in at half time with a goal ahead.
At the age of 20, Xander Diamond was the old-timer of the Aberdeen back three today. That tells you about the players alongside him in Winter and Considine. Did pretty well overall, but a mistake here with the back header, which set up Żurawski with a chance.
Yeah, a very young back three for Aberdeen today, but that's great for the future for them. Like Winter came in today, and obviously until the goals went against them, they had done very well and obviously scored the goal for Aberdeen. But that's potentially a good back three for the future, and Jimmy will know that. Very young, inexperienced back three there, but
good save by Ryan.
Good save, yeah, good save. I think the communication could have been better from Winter to Xander there. About the ball coming over and Xander stretching to head it back, and that's important. The communication. I think they just got mixed up there, but hopefully they'll learn from that.
It was a late decision, of course, to decide that Russell Anderson couldn't play in the match because of the migraine he'd suffered yesterday. So Jamie Winter had very little time to prepare for this, but how he enjoyed the goal which broke the deadlock 8 minutes into the second half. Bad wall, great strike.
I mean, it's a fantastic strike. As manager said, he's a good striker of the ball. I thought he did reasonably well today going in there. It was a tough ask for him going in the sweeper. Boric has no chance here. He wasn't happy with his wall, but there's no way he's going to save that. That was a fantastic strike, and I was the same. I understand what Scott Booth was saying to Jimmy Collingwood about, did you score too early? And I looked at the clock when and I think it was 50 odd minutes or something. And 53, and it gives, you just think, I wish they'd scored that in maybe the 87th or 88th, but it wasn't to be.
So could Aberdeen have held out for a goalless draw then had they not scored? Were they in a better position?
Possibly. Yeah. I mean, the shape was still good. They were solid. There wasn't a lot of space for Celtic to get through them. But
because they lost the place, didn't they, when they scored?
I
think it just gave Celtic the kick up the backside. And Gordon Strachan obviously had words at half time. Winter a marked improvement. Probably didn't get it up to that point, but once Jimmy Winter scores the goal, there was a real marked improvement in Celtic's performance.
I think the tempo of the game lifted from Celtic, because they had a lot of possession first half, but not an end product. Tempo after Aberdeen scored was much better with an end product, as we've seen.
And as Jimmy Calderwood said, Aberdeen were under constant pressure after scoring that opening goal, and what that pressure led to was the equaliser from Aidan McGeady. Aberdeen just couldn't get this out of their box, and it was a good finish from
I
the
actually think Aberdeen are a bit unlucky here, because they block it, there's a bit of a melee in there. Baldy has a shot, it breaks off Jamie Winter in the end, and you have to say it could go anywhere. It falls to McGeady's feet, and for me, that is just a fantastic finish from the kid, because it's bouncing to him. He takes it on the half volley. That could easily go 20 foot over me.
That's a controlled finish, isn't it?
Controlled. I was impressed by him today. I thought he was lively today, the young lad, and a really good finish. But like Craig said, it could have gone anywhere, that ball. It's gone to the young lad, and he's finished it tremendously.
So that was the goal that squared it. Celtic went on to score two more 3-1 winners against Aberdeen, and Gordon Strachan's team are top of the table. Here he is with Scott.
Gordon, we thought it would be an open game today, but the first half in particular, was it so unlike last week?
I just thought we were comfortable all the time. I think we got good possession. The difference between the first half and the second half, we were deadly in the last third. I thought we got some nice positions in the first half, and we also got Magic going through, and I think the goalie saved it today. Yeah. So if that goes in, then they have a system. Then the system must have changed, and that's what happened. But it happened later on in the game.
So was that the game plan, to keep the ball at the back, make Aberdeen chase and try and cut them open?
Just keep the ball at the back, keep the ball in certain positions, and try and get higher up the pitch and get crosses into games. No, that cosmic, to be honest with you. And we felt if we got the first goal, then we'd win the game. Them getting the first goal gave us a problem, but we reacted brilliantly. I think we went from very good to excellent after that.
Yeah, how proud of your players after that? They showed character to bounce back and get three such quick goals.
Yeah, we talked about the we shouldn't get too disappointed about last week. You know, it's 30 minutes football that we didn't do too much thinking. So we thought during the week, and so we hope to go in the lead today. But then going 1 goal behind was a right test of the character again, and they were truly magnificent.
What do you think of the Aberdeen approach today? You know, they put Chris Clark as a man-to-man marker on Petrov, and he's an influential player for Aberdeen.
Didn't work.
Do you feel that the rest of your players were playing to their level today?
Most of them, yeah, but you can't expect, as I said before the game, your job is to be, when I play football, when my teammates have played here, whatever the job was, to be the best player on the pitch. And if you can't do that, you've got to be the best teammate you can be. And we had a lot of players playing to potential and a lot being really good teammates.
Did Aberdeen suffer, do you think, the loss of Russell Anderson so late on?
I don't know, but through us, because I got one sheet, then about 30 seconds later I got another one. So they say the guy's got a migraine, and that's no nice. So I hope he recovers soon.
You've scored so many goals, Gordon, on your travels this season. Was it inevitable that you were going to score today?
No, it wasn't. It was like last week. I thought during the second half, I thought we'll score here, but it just wasn't one of the days. But our technique was up from last week, and that's what makes a difference. You can all the systems in the world, but good players make a team.
Well, I'm back to saying you're top again. Have you missed that?
Yeah, and to be fair, it was a right test for us. You know, mentally the body blow last week and the embarrassment of last week, and coming up here because everybody tells us it's a right hard game up here. Everybody, Rangers had a hard game, Hearts, and we were well in control of the game.
Was it also a relief to see Maloney coming back so sharp?
Yeah, and it was a fantastic goal if he scored. I just think another 10 minutes on the pitch, he would have done better. You know, because he ran away. I think he just got tired, and when you get tired, your decision making is no great. And I think if he'd been on a couple of minutes earlier, he scored a wonder goal.
Now it's Hibs next week. Will you have a little rest before you start plotting their downfall?
No, we're in tomorrow.
Keeping the boys working.
No, I think when you get good results, you have to work and you have to get your body back in circulation, get rid of the stiffness. Plus, I think it's imperative that when you have good results like this, you get together and you discuss it, because that's team bonding is winning games.
Well done today, Gordon.
Thanks, God, Tom.
The work continues for Gordon Strachan and Celtic, but truly magnificent was his assessment of the performance of his team today. And when you bear in mind that it took only 5 minutes for the scoreline to go from 1-0 in Aberdeen's favour to 2-1 in favour of his team, then you can understand why. It was Stilian Petrov who got the second Celtic goal. I'm sure Ryan Essen, the Aberdeen goalkeeper, will blame himself for this.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at the play from John Hartson here. You know, Neal and I were speaking. It's a mistake from Essen. I think Essen's been vastly improved this season, but I mean, he holds his hands up here. But Neal and I were speaking. What do you do with John Hartson in that position?
Yeah.
You know, he's so strong. He's backing into Diamond. You know, he can't foul him. It's a penalty. You know, he's such a difficult character to deal with in the box here. The ball spills to Petrov. He's not going to miss, but. You know, that's what John Hartson's all about.
Yeah, it's great falling in by Petrov as well. I mean, John Hartson is so strong, and seeing him today in the flesh, I mean, I didn't realise how big a lad he was, you know, and that was very hard for Zander to do anything there.
And as you say, Petrov's reading the situation,
he's reading
what's going to happen.
Right. He's going to turn here, bang, have a strike, come off Essen, but Essen knows he's got to do better there. And then Petrov's fouled it in, 2-1, control the match.
And very quickly, 3-1, and if Paul Telfer looked pleased with the goal, you can understand why. It was his first in 3 years, and I felt that Barry Nicholson made his mind up for him here by charging him.
He did. They've worked at that in the training ground. Well, I don't think what they have worked off is Paul Telfer, you know, dribbling into the box and firing it into the corner of the net. But Barry Nicholson does make his match a fantastic strike. You know, I think maybe 1 or 2 eyebrows raised at Paul Telfer coming in at the start of the season, replacing Jackie McNamara, but I think he's been very, very steady. He's a good striker of the ball. He's a solid, steady player. Gordon Strachan's taken him to Coventry, he's taken him to Southampton, he's now taken him to Celtic, and he always does a job, never lets his team down. He doesn't score many, but he's been a solid professional all his career.
I don't think his job's to score goals, was it?
No.
But he was steady in England when I saw him play. And you know, a good player, good steady player.
Gordon Strachan's got what it says on the tin about Paul Telfer, and here's what that result today, 3-1 Celtic at Pittodrie, does to the SPL table. It gives Celtic that 1 point advantage. It puts them back on top of Hearts, 7 ahead of Hibs, 15 clear of Kilmarnock, and 17 points between the Old Firm pair. Aberdeen stay exactly where they were, top of the bottom half of the SPL. Here's what happens next weekend in the SPL. 5 games on Saturday. Aberdeen have another game here, this time against Dunfermline, from which they'll look to get points. Celtic are at home to Hibs. That's a mouth-watering fixture. Falkirk against Motherwell. Hearts versus Inverness. Livingston against Dundee United. Sunday, we're live at Rugby Park for on-form Kilmarnock, 4th in the table, against the team currently 5th below them, Rangers. That's live on Setanta Sports. A week from now, well, it says much for the performance of Andrew Considine, the 18-year-old in defence for Aberdeen, in a losing team, that he was voted man of the match. Here he is.
Andrew, it was always going to be tough today, but minus Russell Anderson at the last minute, did that make it even tougher?
Well, he came in, he said he was feeling really under the weather at the start of the game, and the gaffer said there was probably no point in him just coming in if he's feeling ill, and he went out for a couple of runs and he was just not feeling 100% at all. So it's always going to be a blow if Russell's not playing. Even if he was injured, it'll still be a blow, because he's the man that keeps us right at the back.
Was there slight panic in the dressing room at that moment?
I wouldn't say panic, but it was a bit of we were wondering what he was going to do, if he was going to put 4 at the back, or for what he was going to do. But he put Jamie Winter at the back, and Jamie did well at the back, so he's played there a couple of reserve games and that, so he's done well.
But was that a worry at that stage, to have a back 3 and 3 players who were not too inexperienced and also hadn't played together very often?
It was. Well, it's always going to be hard, especially because they're playing up against Hearts and the likes of Zaravsky. But I think there's Jamie. He's obviously he's played down in England and that he knows the game pretty well. And Xander's a lot of experience than both of us. But I thought we did all right. Felt like that.
Yeah. Apart from the spell where you lost the goals, were you pretty pleased with your own performance?
Yeah, I was quite happy. Yeah, it was always hard playing against Hearts, and I mean, against any other striker, you're probably guaranteed to maybe win a couple more headers, but he's a big guy to play against, and it's always going to be hard to play against him.
Was it a real learning curve for you today then?
Oh yeah, definitely a big learning curve.
And as far as the inconsistency in the team, does this sort of add to it again, or can you take a lot of positives out of this?
I think we can take positives out of it as well. I mean, we worked our socks off. Everyone gave about 100%. We got our goal, and then I honestly don't know what happened. We just lost it completely. I don't know.
Slight lack of discipline?
Yeah, definitely.
In the end, do you think the manager's very disappointed about the result? When you go 1-0 up, you expect to stay there, don't you?
Yeah, he was very disappointed, and we should really be keeping the ball a lot better and try to turn them more. But we weren't getting out of the box at all, and then you know how good Celtic are, and they were just on top of us straight away. Well,
despite the result today, well done. You were or are Bank of Scotland man of the match. Well done, Andrew.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Cheers.
Talks a good game as well, doesn't he, Andy Considine? Well done to him. Man of the match, as picked by Lynn Woodward from Rill, and a signed Considine shirt is heading her way. Thanks a lot to Craig Burley and to Neal Cooper from joining me in the studio and wiping the windows as well. Good job done. Gordon Strachan returned to Pittodrie, took all 3 points and guided Celtic back to the top of the SPL. Bye for now.